Exactly.
Hey!
Technical difficulties.
Yes, it will happen, clearly.
All about being live.
So we're back. So yeah, you were talking about your dad, discussing the hierarchy, and I felt like even with Jamaican culture that if they felt like if they were too affectionate or if they coddled their child or even just told them positive things that they liked, it would somehow step outside of that hierarchy and not enforce that structure of respect that they were adamant about.
Yes.
You know, you respect your parents and you
Yes.
you respect all adults.
Yes.
You know, you make sure you stay in line.
So if you kind of get that line murky a little bit, then the child will not respect you anymore.
Which is, again, a flawed ideology.
It is and isn't.
It is and it isn't. There's a line.
There's a line because we realize now that we have made children more of our friends and companions and less of in their place, they feel entitled.
Yes. Entitlement, like, y'all forgot these are benefits. Like, this is not something I'm required to do for you. Like, there was a period, was it last summer or anytime, like you get into the sequence of, oh, we need play dates, we need to be entertained. And I remember growing up, like, they'd be like, go figure it out, go read a book. You want me to tell you what to do with your free time? Okay, let's clean.
And
let's
read a book was always at the top of the list.
Any book. Here.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, I read the dictionary a few times. How far you get in the dictionary?
Oh my God. Read, and read again. That's all you need to do with your time.
Why did I say anything? Yes.
Yes, they have us just like...
Around their fingers like, oh, can we have a play date? Can you bring us here? Can you do this, this, and this? And it's like they're not seeing that these are benefits that we are, you know, privileged to give them. And we love caring, you know.
Yes.
And in a way it is spoiling our kids with all of this extra, you know, whatever you want to do, you know.
Yes.
So
I just think there's a fine line.
It is.
There has to be a medium. But anyway, the last question was... What was the last question?
The last question was, what surprised them about parenting?
Yes.
Your dad killed me. Because I was like, oh, I thought it was me. Like, because he was like, he had so many moments where he honestly thought, am I really a parent?
Yes.
I'm too young for this.
I'm too young to be a parent.
You know, like, so many times. And I had this moment, but I had kids young. I had my first at 21. So I was like, this ain't right. And then I would have, like, my friends be like, oh, we're going to the club. You know, whatever. And I had to, like, you know, be serious. I had to constantly be in, you know, responsible mode. I'm like, I'm too young for this. But then after a while, it's just like, I was 28, 29, still thinking, really? But I'm so young for this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes. And it was great to hear that from a male perspective. That they also feel like this is a bit much. And do I really know what I'm doing?
Right.
So that was good. But your mom said what?
My mom said... What did she say? She was more like... her expectations for her kids. So what surprised her, I guess, was the later half. Like, she had these expectations.
Like, you did all this work and prepared them.
And it didn't quite pan out to what she was hoping for them.
Right.
And
that's
like
our struggle.
Right? And we have to find that point where we do let go of the reins. Thankfully, I'm not there yet.
Yes.
And it's going to be a struggle, you know. We've been holding them in for so long, and then finally it's like, no, it's their life now. It's their choices that is directing their course now.
You did what you had to do.
You've given them the foundation. God willing, they remember all of it and just, you know, make right choices. But yeah, and just hearing that, like, regret, you know, that, like,
that's
it's hard.
That's
it is hard. And, you know, that sucks.
Yeah.
But she did leave with some advice, which we're going to touch upon. And her advice was mainly, she wants to see this generation of parenting not forget the discipline factor. And my thing is, I'm big on the discipline, but not in the way that my parents, meted it out.
Right.
The
belt thing.
Exactly. Yes. It was. Yeah. I'm not knocking anybody who still gets whooped or gives it, but there were points in my childhood I'm like, this is unnecessary. This is just, and there was a point like I boycotted that I was just like, okay, all right, I'm not crying. What are we doing?
Right.
I'm an adult. I'm in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Find another way to discipline me, please. But yeah, I just didn't. It wasn't sending the right message for me because a lot of times it was like in anger or someone else who wasn't my parent was giving the discipline. So I'm just like, no, I don't understand. So I was like one of those in my mind rebellious. But she was like saying the parents need to kind of be strong. Life's gonna get hard, but you still have to discipline your kids because at the end of the day, they reflect on you. And
but children need discipline, and I think that we feel like, oh, they're not going to be our friends, they're not going to like us. No, it's not about that.
Yeah. We're not their friends.
No. And they need structure,
not yet.
And they need discipline.
Later on, we'll always be their mother, and
there.
later on in life, when they're older and adults, we can be more friendly. Like, we can be on a friendship term. But now, no. When they're young and when we're raising them up and teaching them order and teaching them how to present themselves to the world, they need to have that in the back of their mind. It's not always pretty. It's not.
It's just not. Sometimes you got to really lay down the law. And you're having fun with them and you're hanging out and you're doing stuff, but there's times when you really have to make it clear, like, no, you will not hit others. No, you will not yell at me. You will not speak back to me.
Yep.
Yes, you will do what I ask you to do when I ask you to do it.
It's not a negotiation.
No, you'll be respectful to other adults. When they ask you to do something, you will do so in a proper manner. Not, I didn't want to. What?
Yeah.
So, I mean, simple things like say good morning to an adult. I mean,
so these are like teaching manners that were like enforced.
Yeah.
Like you walk into a house in our culture, and that's why it was a big thing, me growing up and seeing, American culture, because I'm like, I would get in so much trouble if I ever talked back to my mom, if I ever was disrespectful to another adult. But yeah, I would go to other friends' houses and see the child yelling back at her mom. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This goes on?
This is okay.
You could do this? Oh. Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But like even just, which I still do today, a big thing was if you go anywhere, if you go into a building, if you go into someone's house, you are entering someone's house, you make sure you say hello.
Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Go on the bus in the morning, good morning.
Yes. And like acknowledge the other person. And that I think is completely like,
doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen in American culture because I even like at church and things like that. Like I go to like choir practice and I'm the one going in like hello. But if I'm sitting there, people just walk by.
They just walk in,
and I'm just like, oh, okay. But again, that's a cultural difference, and I would honestly think it was rude. But then I have to remember these cultural differences. But I make sure I don't let the situation change me, and I make sure I'm still the person. Hello. How are you doing? And engaging, and it sucks, but you know, that's how I was raised, and I want to make sure that, so
sometimes our children will do it in front of us and not when we're not there because they like, I don't want to say good morning to people because people don't say good morning to me, right? But I think it's respectful.
It is respectful. It is.
So we said we were going to talk about this, but we want to take the good things that we learned from our parents, and we want to leave away things that we thought was just a little ridiculous, and have some kind of medium. We don't want to totally go to the complete extreme of what they did. We want to sift out what was good, what we learned, and what made sense.
Right. So like you were saying, finding a happy medium or finding that balance, and we're not saying it's easy, because even me, like we were just discussing, okay, the kids get this freedom as long as you keep your grades up and you can, like my son loves Xbox. So Fridays he comes home, he's playing Xbox. He's doing, if he wants a play date on the weekend, he'll set, organize that and I'll talk to the mom and we'll, like on his terms sort of thing. And then But I'm like, okay, this is a little free, whatever. But it was fine. Grades are up. That was our deal. And then come to find out, grades are slipping. Okay, grades are slipping. Okay, now behavior's being an issue. Oh, so you thought this was just way of life. That that's that entitlement thing that we were talking about. This generation is very entitled. They feel like it is their right to have all of these benefits, and people have to do for them. No, you do for yourself.
And they don't have to do anything.
Oh, no. It's a given. It's a given because it's their birthright or something. they're very special.
No. Constantly saying you're a team member of this household.
Right.
You have to help do things around here. It's not just you do what you want to do when you want to do. Okay, I said Xbox on Fridays. That doesn't mean ever since you walk in the house, you're just there the whole entire time. The entire time. Just playing. No, you got to see what else is going on around the house and help. But
take it with you.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like I said, we noticed that these things started happening, and now it's like, okay, these things that you took for granted were privileges. So now we get to pull them back in. Now, no, you don't get to play Xbox. No, you don't get to go in and out and all these play dates and things like that. These were privileges, and you're not holding up your end of the deal. And it's a very easy end, just keep your grades up.
And being stern about these things.
Consistent.
And consistent.
Yes. Because then you let up after like a week. Oh, he's been good for a week or two.
Whatever. Or you have something to do. So you're like, yeah, go ahead.
And it's easier. It's easier.
No. Because then they don't learn. They don't understand what this whole situation is about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was our parents.
That was our parents. And that was, what they wanted to impart to us, which I love. And so, yeah, we talked about the balance thing. And like I said, we went all the way to the left. Let them do what they want, and then now we gotta rein it back all the way in to get things back on that balance that we need to have the kids being respectful and knowing their place and following the rules. There are rules in place for a reason.
Okay, so I wanted to speak from a therapist point of view. For those of you who don't know, I am a psychotherapist. So the relationship with your parents is everything. Everyone who comes into my office, we first talk about your upbringing, how you were raised, the culture, how did that affect, and the relationship between your parents or the lack of totally shapes who we are. So we need to think about that as parents. What do we want to impart and leave for our children to model, to follow? Because that's what's happening. So I have clients who don't know their fathers. Their fathers were in and out. Their mother was strict. Their mother was lenient. So in these things, when you start looking at the pattern, you're like, oh, this is why I yell at my kids all the time, even though I don't want to. Oh, this is why I'm not really sure how to have a good relationship in my home with my husband, because I wasn't modeled in my home.
Right.
There was no man. There was no, good role model. I'm making this stuff up as I go along. So, what we do as parents has a total, complete impact on how your children do what they have to do in their lives. So we really want to take that into effect. We want to think about that. Be conscious of it. So our parents did what they did because they did what they knew, and they tried to do a little better. I mean, our parents, God bless them, they came from their little islands, came to this huge country,
totally different,
figured it out, and did way better than what their parents did for them. So as much as we want to talk about their flaws and what they didn't do, they did a whole lot more than what their parents did. And so now it's our job to do way more than what our parents did for us. And check yourself. That's why we have to constantly say, do your breathing, do your meditation, and quiet yourself down. So otherwise you don't really see what you're doing.
Yep. It's a big role. We're not
it's
saying
huge.
It's easy. We're not saying it's
so we need to check in with ourselves. And when someone else checks you and your husband is like, yo, you were wildin'. Or like, what was that all about? You're like, shut up, raising my kids. No. Mm-mm. We want to take this all in. How we want to reflect on our children. What we want them to know and how we want them to be. So let's just check ourselves and be conscious of how we're raising our children. And guess what? You can learn from others.
Yes.
We don't know it all. How about
we
that?
are blessed to be in the information age. Everything is a fingertip away. You need some research, you need some, and these communities help talking to other parents. They could be anywhere in the world right now. These virtual communities, Facebook groups, all, and just be willing. You know, I admit I don't know everything. No, I definitely don't, but I'm quick to like do research or reach out. What's your opinion and garner information from every little piece and try to figure my way out that way. What's going to work for me?
Yeah, and everything can't be, well, that's what I know, and that's what my mother did, and that's what.
But just entertain the idea that there could be a better way.
Yes. Yes.
To do it, but I'm going to try this and see what works. You know. Yeah. And she brought up a good point. We are modeling for our kids, right? So that's been heavy on my heart this whole month. Is just the idea of bringing honor back to relationships. And so, not only does the Bible say honor your father and mother, but I'm saying modeling this for our kids. One day we will be older. We, depending on the relationship you have with your parents, your kids are watching you. They're watching you. You know, I noticed the other day.
How to care for elderly.
Right? And I noticed the other day that, like a couple weeks ago, and I would look at my phone and I'd be like, and I'd put it down, and Jocelyn was like, "Who's that, Grandma?" And I was like, no, you are not right. You know, like, geez, they see everything.
Everything.
But my mom does call me a lot. Just saying. Love her to death.
Yes.
But again, they're seeing how, you know, how you treat your parents, and then, you know, don't be surprised if they start to behave that way when they're older and you're the now elder person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you take good care of your parents. It's also just passing down a heritage of honor and respect to your kids, and then showing that, no, this is how I would like you to treat me, and vice versa, and keep this going. Yes. Keep it going.
And treat other elderly people. I mean, our country is it's so horrible to our elders. I don't get it. That's one thing I don't get.
But yeah, and they were talking about that in other countries. The elderly are respected. They're revered for their wisdom, for their experience. They have so much to teach.
As they should be. Yes. I understand.
In this country, it's kind of seemed like, oh, they're a burden.
Yeah.
Put them in an elder home and keep them over there. You know,
what are they talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're slower,
so much.
But they have so much to tell you, so much to gain from just that exchange of wisdom that, you know, prevent you from an experience. They already learned the lesson. But
we were talking about not getting rid of everything. Those little remedies that we
that are big now.
Yeah,
but we had from the islands,
that's our culture.
Yes,
but we
had that.
No, the doctor didn't say that.
She said roots. She's boiling up some roots in the kitchen. You're sick. She's got the roots and some oils for you.
Yes, but they're not going to be around forever. We have to learn those things.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we were talking about that last night because I was craving some Jamaican food, and I was like,
yes.
But I have to go to the right store to get the right, because not ShopRite ain't gonna have the right curry that I need, and you know what I mean. Exactly. So that's my mission.
And again, modeling for our children, so our children know all the different cultures. You want to keep that in there, not just they think it's too spicy. They don't want that. No, we have to keep encouraging and keeping it alive.
It makes, you know, our society rich. It does. Never mind the Donald Trump-y stuff that's going on. All our differences make just our coming together so much richer. We have so much more to learn from each other, and I just love it. I love that we're different. Our differences are just
everything. Yes. So let's not dull our culture. Let's keep it alive. Why not? And like you said, that's what's honoring our parents, honoring our culture, where we're from, what our background is. You just have to keep it alive.
She wanted to make a cameo. The last thing I wanted to touch upon was love languages. So we were talking about how our parents knew love as, you know, care, right? What you did for somebody else. What, you know, I provided. I worked hard and made sure you had food and a roof over your head and things like that. That's how I showed that I care for you. And in talking to my mom, like, this worked for her. Like, she was like, yeah, they showed me. They showed me that I was loved. They didn't say it much, but they showed me that I was loved. So the difference between me and her, that worked for her. Like, and that's how she expresses love. Like, she'll come and she will cook you an entire meal and clean your whole house. And, like, there you go. Yep. You know? Blessed.
Never say I love you.
No, not a word.
Not say, you know, you're doing a good job with your kids.
No.
No
Compliments. No, none of that.
It's, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
How you keep this one?
Exactly. Oh, God.
But don't realize that that's tearing you down.
Yes.
And not building you up.
Yes.
But it's love. She feels like she's coming here to love on you.
Right. My big thing when I was talking to my sister and I was sitting there like, why they couldn't just tell you to your face? You would hear that they told Aunt so-and-so that you're doing so good in school and they're so proud of you. Can I hear it? Can I hear it from you?
No.
Like, they would never tell you that stuff.
No. And
They
that's
would
like
just be
bragging.
like, exactly. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Mom, I got a 95. Why didn't you get 100? Okay. you know what I mean? Like, that was, I was like, all right, it's never good enough, you know? And that was me, finding out that, you know, I express and want love differently than she does is like, I was never affirmed, so I felt unloved, you know? And she never quite understood that. And even now, like, I would be telling her, you know, and I show love the way I do, and then I have to step out of myself and say, no, but she accepts it from things. Because I'm like, if I ever go by her house, she always puts me to work. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?
And if you don't, because you're tired or whatever, it
like
reflects that you don't care.
You know, so
you must not care.
So it's in taking the time to learn the different ways people receive and give love. And I read this book a few years back that kind of enlightened me to that, and it was just like, oh wow. And there's even an online quiz that I could probably share later that kind of tells you what you're more inclined to, what love language works for you, relates to you.
Yeah.
You know, so start with yourself. What speaks to that person in you? Is it when people tell you that you're loved? Is it when they do things for you? Like, my thing is lighten my load some way. You wanna clean that kitchen for me? That's
foreplay. That's foreplay.
Right?
Wash the dishes. Ooh.
Yes. Get it done. Like, you did that and I didn't ask you?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I wasn't screaming down the house at that time.
So mine is that as well as words, right? And like, others are affection. They love being touched and hugged and things like that. So it's taking the time to, you know, learn about the people in our lives, like our kids. Like, so me and my mom, our disconnect was not really knowing how we communicated love all of those years until now. So I'm trying to take the time to learn my kids.
Yeah, and each child is different.
Each child is different.
I don't think they did that either. They kind of just saw us as one unit.
Yep. And just keep them together.
Yes.
Keep them alive.
Each child is different.
Yes.
And loves differently and expresses differently, and you have to express your love differently to them. Yeah, it takes work. But
it does.
So necessary.
They're given to us, and so we need to not only build them up, because we're gonna lose them to the world. We need to build them up, have that foundation under them that they're coming into this world with something, with that confidence, with that strength. Like, no, I'm loved. We're trying to build them up.
Yes.
We're trying to make sure that they know, you know, they're loved and that they're worth something. That they're not gonna go out seeking it from any and everywhere else, right?
We want to be conscious that we're not tearing them down through our words and our actions. It's so important. Yes.
Because we can get into that.
Yes.
I'm sick of this. lay into everybody, but
but our words are so important. They're so important.
Yeah.
Let's just be very conscious of how we speak to our children.
It really plants
seeds.
Anybody, because I remember words. Not never mind fights and things like that. I remember things people said to me years and years, and I'm sure you do too. They say words don't hurt. No, they hurt. They bring in your memory some hateful something that somebody said about you, and it's worse when it comes from a loved one.
Right.
So be cognizant of the importance of your words to these little ones.
Because we feel like our parents were not cognizant of that at all.
No. I said whatever.
Like, how stupid are you?
Yes.
Pick up that thing.
Oh Lord.
Let's
not go down that one.
What is what? You really have to be conscious of it. So, again, like going back to week 1, it starts within you. You spending that time with you and building yourself up, because sometimes someone is not interested in your love language and how to express that to you.
So you gotta minister to yourself.
Yes.
I need to love on me in the way I need it.
And then you'll be able to give it to others.
Right.
So you really have to build yourself up and love yourself, and to literally say, I love you to yourself. Because it means everything. And say the words and wash yourself with the words of how beautiful you are and how confident you are and how capable you are. Because the world and people around you will tear you down like, girl, you can't do that. What you talking about? You thinking about doing what? No, I don't think you can do that. You have to encourage and build yourself. And once you start doing it, it comes easy for you to do it for your children.
And your spouse and other people in your life, your parents, and we know those relationships with their parents, especially after years of being built to whatever level it's at right now, to kind of make it the way you want it to be. It takes effort, because they may not be receptive, and that's kind of the phase I'm in. I'm gonna make sure I love you, and I'm gonna do my part. And there are sometimes I have to back away from you because it's best for me.
Ooh, yes. Let's not forget that piece. Let's not forget that piece.
Yeah, it's not
just because it's your mother or your whoever. It doesn't mean sometimes you need to pull back on that, because it's toxic. And
you're not just gonna run me dry because I'm the child and I'm supposed to do what you say to do. I'm still an adult, and I'm gonna say I need a break right now.
Boundaries.
Yes. It's my right.
Yes, that was such an important part, such an important piece, because you can't.
I had to learn that later on.
Yes.
It's like, no, if I let you, you're not aware that I have now a husband and kids and a whole lot of things. You're like, no, you're still my child, and you're still required. Yes, but I do have the freedom to say when I can help you and how far I'm gonna.
And they don't like that.
They don't, but it is what it is. I need my sanity.
Yes. And how productive are you going to be?
Exactly.
You have to really take care of yourself. No matter what the relationship is, if it's just getting too toxic, you have to pull back. And some people, it's toxic to the point where you cannot speak to your mother, your father.
Right.
You just cannot. It makes no sense for your life. That has to be okay. That has to be okay.
And get help when you need, because my big thing is my mom is not only elderly, but she has certain illnesses and things like that need constant regulating. And so that a lot of that pressure was on me. And I'm like, okay, first I would try my other siblings. They're busy or doing their own thing. So then it worked out that I was able to get a nurse that could, or an aide that could be with her. And go to doctor's appointments. Like, it was a lot. Going to doctor's appointments
feel guilty about
and this
that.
and this and this. No, I'm one person. So I delegate and pass on what I can, and then I come in and help and give what time I can give.
So a lot of us are in this space right now where we have younger children and we have ailing parents. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. A lot that needs to get done. A lot of real concrete things that needs to get done, and a lot of love that needs to be spread, and you're just really being spread thin. So again, you have to care for you first before you can care for all of those things. When you take time for yourself, you'll be able to make better decisions without people telling you, no, you can't put a nurse in there, or no, you can't put her in a home.
Don't accept that. Don't accept other people's guilt, and honestly take time to work out your guilt.
Yes.
Because you'll be in your head telling yourself a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes.
But you have to preserve yourself. You have to take care of yourself and then gain clarity to figure out the best course of action for everybody involved. So
It's a lot.
yeah.
But you can do it. We can do it.
We'll do it together, people. We are here cheering you on. And we got this. Trust me. It's doable. It is hard, but it's doable, right? So thank you guys so much for joining us, and definitely comment about anything, share this or any of the other videos. I know a few people I've talked to said, certain things were resonating. Definitely share it. I'm sure somebody needs this message.
Yes.
And next week we're talking about the final part of this love relationship, our relationship with our friends, friends and associates. Like,
so important.
It's necessary. We are not meant to be islands. Right?
Or just work.
Exactly. Thank you
home.
guys so much, and we will see you next week. Love you.
Keep loving on you.
Enjoy this week. If you're home with the kids, good luck.
Good luck. I hope you're in Florida or something.
Yeah, on vacation.
Bye.
That would be great.